Yesterday's watch review today. Haven't done one of these in a while. I've been too busy. I haven't been making a lot of watch related videos, which is something I'd like to remedy because we've just been so darn busy. But I did get something that was quite unusual for me. I was offered in trade a watch that was interesting to me. And so the trade was a good one, and I went for it, and I now have the watch. What I got was this is a Stowa B-Uhr Flieger. It's a pretty cool watch. For those of you who don't really know, Stowa is a German company. It was founded in 1927, and they're still Stowa today. While the company has changed ownership, at no point did it go defunct and then get resurrected as a zombie brand name like a Hamilton or something else like that. Stowa has been Stowa. It was handed off alive the whole way. The company even survived the quartz revolution, which is pretty amazing. They're still made in Germany. The cool thing about the company, is that you have a lot of customization options. So the person I got this from, Bill up in Canada, I traded for, he specified a layout that I don't even think, according to him, you can't even get anymore. So this is the 40 millimeter B-Uhr dial, which is something that Stowa came up with in the late 30s for the German Air Force. But he specified not an automatic. This has an ETA 2801 high beat movement in it. It's a hand winder with beautiful perlage and all that other kind of stuff. Really nice finishing. And it runs beautifully. This watch is from 2013. Despite being from 2013, it still blasts along in like the 280s and 290s. It's with almost no beat error. I haven't opened this or done anything with it. Part of the reason I haven't opened it is that it's not a screw back. It's actually fixed with these little screws around here. It's an interesting watch. It doesn't have. It only has supposedly 30 meters of water resistance. The crown is not a screw down, and so it says, try to keep it away. Don't go swimming with this watch. And 30 meters is like barely even splash resistant. So, I mean, that's one minor quibble on my part. But I like the ease of the use. That I don't have to worry about unscrewing the crown threads or anything, that kind of stuff. I can just wind it. It's pretty. It's a pretty watch. There are a lot of great design elements that came out of that period. I've always been I've always been interested in World War II. And especially like Air Force stuff, like the British Spitfire, and fighter planes during the war and that kind of stuff. I always thought I built models a lot when I was a kid, and I just thought it was really fun. When it comes to something that's very much a tool, like truly a tool watch, like it's not supposed to be fancy or fussy or anything else like that. It's supposed to just do one job. This design is extremely clean. There's no date. There's no logo, which was an option. You could get it. It specifies a no logo. This is a no logo Stowa. It's extremely clean. It's very, very basic. There's nothing else to this than what it is. Beautiful blued hands. And just as a sort of a contrast, this might be illustrative. I picked this up. Oh gosh, it was a wreck. I picked it up some time ago, quite a long time ago. I made a video about it. This is a clock out of a World War II Messerschmitt fighter plane. It's a war trophy. It was brought back by some American, and the movement was all jacked up, but I restored it, and it's a clock that goes up. It sits upstairs, and it's sort of like a little desk clock, and it tells us what time it is. But you can see the simple clarity of the design. Extremely useful. All it does is what it does, which is nice. This one is additionally interesting because, of course, it has a chronograph in it. This isn't just a watch; it's a chronograph, which is pretty neat. You have the chronograph timer for timing landings. I'm not quite sure how that works, but that's what you do. It also has an outer rotating timing bezel. It's a very, very cool piece. Made out of aluminum or magnesium. I'm not quite sure which. And this base is actually from another one of these. I have another complete one of these that I need to restore someday. I'll do it. I'll have a pair of them. Pretty neat though, but you can see the clarity of the design. And we have that here as well. But let's pause and we'll just go look at it closely, okay? Okay, so here it is. This is the Stowa Flieger. Now, this is not the Correct. Well, this isn't the strap it was issued with, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Like I said, it's a 40 millimeter watch. It's a good size, and it wears a little larger because the dial is so big and the crystal is so big. This is an effect I saw in one of my other watches, a Slava made right at the end of the Soviet Union, used the same thing. I mean, it's coincidental. It's just the first place I saw it, and that's what it made me think of. But anyway, so we have. Let's see now if you guys can see that. All right. 40 point. No, that ain't right. Let's move this back a little bit. Let's see if we can get better light on here. Okay, let's try that again. Maybe if I go underneath. Nope, still can't see it. Why, that's annoying. Well, it's whatever. Just a hair. It's just a hair over 40 millimeters. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Very clean design. There we go. 40.14. But the great thing about the fact that it's a hand winder, no automatic, is that the stack height of the movement is actually quite low. So let's see where that sits. And it also makes it quite light. Yeah, it's not even, it's just under 9 millimeters, 8.85. I mean, that's pretty thin for a watch. The movement is an ETA 2800. You can see it there chugging along. Isn't it lovely? Again, beautiful perlage with the Stowa engraved and with gold inlaid in it. It looks just really nice. It's a clean, accurate movement. Nice blued screws on this display back. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 5 atmospheres, not 3 atmospheres. That's pretty low. And you can see, if I can get this here, you can see the blued hands, the beautiful blued hands. And the nice thing about the blued hands is not only they're super like sharp and crisp hands, they're actually, the tops are slightly curved, which makes it just, I just think it's really elegant. Another nice thing is how, I mean, this is a pretty busy dial. Obviously, you have minutes on the outside, hours on the inside, and this is the standard design that they came up with. Though the wartime B-Uhr watches were 55 millimeters. They were gigantic. The reason being is that you don't want to have to really try to squint to see what the heck time it is when you're flying a fighter plane, I'm assuming. But this is a much more wearable dress size of 40. What was I saying? So anyway, you have this fairly busy dial, but the great thing is one of the things that actually really sold me on this watch was the beauty of how the looming is. It's super cool. I'm going to show you here, but I have a still photograph that I took that I'm really proud of. And actually, I put it on Instagram, and Stowa asked to use it, so Stowa's going to use that. Let's see if we can get this here. So hold on. There we go, like this. You can see that beautiful looming pattern. See, not all the dial numbers are loomed, and at night it makes it very, very readable. And I love the fact that the sweep seconds hand is loomed from inside to outside. It's a super legible design. Very cool. When Bill sent me this, he sent me all the extras minus the aluminum box it would have come in, because he never anticipated he was going to sell it, and so he repurposed that box for watch straps, which is fine. It's not a big deal. Really, the only thing beyond the sort of the build paperwork that came with this, that was signed off by some technician in the Stowa plant, is the standard Stowa strap. Now they did this. This is a standard sort of German-style Flieger strap where it's riveted together like this. Because the way, as far as I understand these, is most military watches would have fixed wire lugs, which is not the case here. This does not have fixed wire lugs, but they wanted to replicate the look of that by having this strap here. And I haven't put this particular strap on because I've never been sort of fond of this sort of metally thing. And plus also the strap is straight, which is, again, one of my things. I really prefer a taper. So I use this, faintly thickish brown buffalo style hide with the contrast white stitching. which I just think it's one of my personal things I like. So I guess it's a classic, timeless design. Utterly, utterly functional. No frills, nothing extra. You can get them with like the Stowa logo and automatic and with the date and other stuff like that. They make all kinds of variations of this particular watch, but this is the cleanest and most basic example. I mean, they would not have made an automatic during the war. That didn't happen. Everything would have been hand winding. That's the way stuff did. But let's look at it. Let's look at the numbers. That's, I think, the last thing that should be fun. Like I said, I haven't opened this watch or done anything with it, so there is the Stowa doing its thing. Come on, focus in. There we go. So this is unadjusted, 5 years old, never been serviced, never been opened. That's pretty sweet. Very nice watch. Very clean, very attention-getting, accurate, usable. I'm pleased with it all the way around. I just think it's neat. Oh, what's cool too is that the way that it was loomed is there's actually, everything isn't just flat, it's slightly domed, a little bit puffy, and it actually gives a neat little like 3D effect to the dial. I'm pleased with it. It's a nice watch, it's a good watch, it's a strap it on, bolt it on and go watch. Elegant, eye-catching, unusual. Okay, well that's it. Thank you so much.